bittersweet and I'm walking slow. Sensitive, feel the afterglow. Looking for things that I can't control. Fear from my past, cause it always shows. Do I wanna try? Can I let it go? Running from the past, wanting to be sure. Chaos in my mind, constant deja vu. But every time, it comes back to you. Whoa, I'm still falling. Whoa, but it tastes bittersweet. Whoa, I keep on falling. Whoa, I like the taste of it. Blacking out, afraid just fading day by day. I'm reaching out for someone who can take away the pain I feel for things I haven't done at all. I've lost my way, but how I felt I can't recall. Do I wanna try? Can I let it go? Running from the past, wanting to be sure. Chaos in my mind, constant deja vu. But every time, it comes back to you. Whoa, I'm still falling. Whoa, but it tastes bittersweet. Whoa, I keep on falling. Whoa, I like the taste of it. Whoa, I'm still falling. Whoa, but it tastes bittersweet. Whoa.
my mind with these images, yeah. And it's the way that you look at me, makes me feel like I can't breathe. It ain't right, right, right. It ain't right, right, right. It ain't right. Oh no, it ain't right, right, right. It ain't right, right, right. It ain't right. Oh no, you're calling my phone. I'm being patient, but I'm all alone. Staying faithful, and I'll never know when you're coming back around. 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 You've got me all in my feelings, like I could die without you next to me. It's the way that you look at me, makes me feel like I can't breathe. It ain't right, right, right. It ain't right, right, right. Ain't right. Oh no, it ain't right, right, right. It ain't right, right, right. It ain't right. Oh no. You're calling my phone. I'm being patient, but I'm all alone. Staying faithful, and I'll never know when you're coming back around. When you're coming back around, makes me feel like I can't breathe. It ain't right. I can't breathe. It ain't right. When you're coming back around. When you're coming back around. Storm meets the moon. I'm the sun when the moon. Do you think you are? Who do you think you
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the RSC Prospect Play-ins. It is that time of the year again. We are here to see which people will see go into the play-ins playoffs. And I'm not alone here. I am joined by the one, the only, the lovely Merritt. How are you, buddy?
So excited to get into the action. 9 weeks of league play have led to this moment for all these teams competing, and it's going to be a very close affair. All of these teams will be putting their all into all of these series, trying to take that crown.
Of course, they all want to get in there. They all want to take a bit of a bite of this cake known as the Prospect Play-ins, known as the Prospect Play-offs. But, Merritt, you're the experienced one here. You're the one that's actually, I believe, playing as well in the entire tournament in RSC. So I'm going to ask you for a bit of the statistics and a bit of the information. Who are we seeing today? Who are we seeing right now?
First up, we have Pamis taking on Cardinal. This is the 5th seed coming out of the Glaciers Conference, taking on that 6th seed out of Ignis. Cardinals, they started their season very strong indeed, but they did sort of slip away towards the end, and they came away with that 6th seed where they were, up in that 3rd and 4th spot just a couple of weeks ago. so I'm sure they'll be looking to bounce back when it really matters. But Pamis, they've made some roster changes throughout the season, and they've actually climbed up the leaderboard. They're 7th or 8th in, after the halfway point in the season, but they've gotten to that 5th seed in Glaciers, and now they're in this matchup.
And of course, Merritt, as the experienced man in this league, of course, I have to bring it up. I'm sorry, I have to. Any co-caster I have to a tiny bit bully them just into knowing that they weren't here, they didn't make it. I'm gonna ask you a question then. Which 4 teams do you see going through? Which 4 teams are you like, yeah, they are the best. They're easily the ones that are gonna go through.
I think the 4 strongest teams in Prospect have to be Fearless Echo, Rogue out of Glacies, and out of Ignis, Newborn, and Limousine. They are definitely strongest teams. They are top 2 seeds from either conference, so, they've deserved to get to where they are. And we're actually going to see Limousine in action in about 2 hours' time.
Ooh. So we've heard the information. We're going to look at some stats now. Of course, 6th and 5th statistically. The wins, very close. Losses, very close. That's what you expect from these types of teams. But I'm going to look at the stats right now. You're looking at those as well. I look at one statistic in particular. I'll see the goals against. And Cardinals not looking too good there. Almost having equally amounts of goals scored and goals against them. That's normally a statistic that you don't want to see. Normally you want to see a bit more what you see over on Palmists, where it's a higher scoring percentage, lower goals against. That's the type of stats you want to see. But overall, equally matched stats, I would say, don't you think?
Cardinals, they starting to play a more aggressive style of play, getting 10 more goals than Pamis, but their downfall is certainly their defense. Like you said, 15 more goals conceded than that Pamis roster. But in the other stats, obviously, you mentioned their shooting percentage is that little bit better. And also Cardinals have had more demos than Pamis, so certainly plays into the factor of them being more aggressive, but maybe that'll also be their downfall in this series.
It could very well be. If that ends up happening, we don't know. We're looking at another statistic in this case. The demos. 8 more demos over on the side of Cardinals, and that shows to me what you already said as well, that the Cardinals are a bit more aggressive, a bit more in your face, that the demo statistics always prove that type of thing. Shooting accuracy is actually quite equal, looking at the statistic now. And the individual statistics, these are always the ones that are a bit more fun. You can clearly tell that one of the Palmist players is by far the one that plays the most, and the same can be said over on the Cardinal side. But overall, looking at this, I think it's quite clear who are the players to watch here, isn't it? Ooh, I'm alone now. I can talk the most I want. That is very nice to hear. Since I'm alone, I can do whatever I want. That's always nice to see and always nice to have. I'm gonna tell you guys something. Cardinals, watch out for Hyvis. Hyvis is scary. Looking at just the statistics, I see someone being a fan of Sabine. Also good player. But I'm looking at Hyvis. Those shooting goal participation. 71%. That is nuts to see such a high amount. On the other side, Melty Crispy, 69%. Nice for the ones who get the joke. It is such a large amount. Insane to watch, insane to see so many people, so many goal participations from just one player. That is, for people who aren't normally in the RLCS scene, don't watch the higher echelon of things, that would be considered crazy. If a player comes out with those types of statistics on the offensive part, it is nuts. Being able to be that involved with playmaking, shooting, scoring, whatever you name it, they are there. I mean, of course, you can see it for Hyvis. 94 goals. I know English. 94 goals. That is a lot. Don't you agree, Merits? 94 goals for just one player.
Yep, I have returned. I'm not sure what happened. My Discord just kicked me out, but looking at the stats, Pamis certainly have the standout player in Melty Crispy, over a goal per game, over a save per game, and he's also the leading player in terms of assists. He's up and down the pitch, he's pivotal for the performance of Pamis. And looking over at Cardinals, Hyvis, as I heard you mention, 94 goals in just 64 games. That's about 1.5 goals per game return, with a 41% shooting accuracy, so he's going to be the man to lead them to victory.
Okay, but then the final question, the important question, the do-it-all questions. Who's gonna win?
It's going to be close, but Cardinals actually are without Masters for today, so they're using their sub in Jonas Chair. So that's winning me
I love that
over
name.
into the favor of Pamis. They're going to be sending Cardinals home in 4 games. I'm going with a 3-1 victory for the
I'm
boy team.
I'm going with Cardinals. You said Jonas Scheer. That's all I need to know. I love that name. I'm a fan of that name. I'm going with Cardinals. Simple as that. It's if you want my love is very easily given. Have a fun name. Have a good name. For example, in South Africa, we have a player called Jerome in the Bath. Done. Sold. I'm your fan for life. Cannot get better than that. And that is the most beautiful thing to see. But I think overall merits. You said, what did you say again? 3-1? 3-1, I think, right?
Yes.
3-1. I'm gonna go, yeah, 3-0. He already put it down. I love this. I love this broadcaster already. If you don't know, B-Shake, our broadcaster, lovely dude, lovely man. Please give him all the love and attention he deserves, even though he's not on camera. 3-0 on the scoreboard. That's at least my guess. I don't see a game 5 for whoever is saying in chat. I don't see that happening. What I do see happening is us getting underway with this game merits. It's gonna be game number 1. Cardinals is on the blue side, and we have Palmists over in orange. It's good to be back for playoffs, for play-ins. Let's see who goes through.
Yep. It's winner go home already in this format. First series of the evening, first series of play-ins, and we already have a team on, risking elimination. And starting off early is Pamis. That one's going to go into the middle. Captain Deadpool can't get on target. Second shot is a little bit closer. But now it's Cardinals trying to build up their first attack of the game. Sabine sent it to the corner. Melty Crispy well aware of that one coming in. Hiva's now able to make contact. Now it's Melty against the world. It's a good pop onto the backboard. Can he follow up his own
Melty
shot? And that is the first goal of Prospect Play-ins awarded to Melty Crispy and Pamis.
Melty Crispy beautifully set up onto the backboard, makes it easy for himself. Of course, this is a bit of the lower echelon of these players, so things like the backboard are going to be quite open, as you can see in this case. Always nice to see them using that, being able to use that to their advantage. Good side hit from Sabine, but not good enough. Ivis can't get a good touch on the ball. It's right into the head hitbox, but not on target. Sadly enough, they have to try again, but the bump coming out, the goal is wide open, and it's Captain Deadpool getting the second.
Start has just been so shaky. They haven't been able to do anything with the ball, and they're making whiffs in the midfield, and it is opening up space like that there. The bump from Jobs there, though, was very important in that goal going in, and not even a minute in, it's already a 2-goal deficit for Cardinals, and they're going to need maybe a miracle, but it's a little bit too early to tell. It is only game 1, and these guys have 3 lives in this series, but they also need to win 3 games, and if they don't start putting shots on net, that's just going to be impossible. But now back to the task at hand for Cardinals. That pass goes out in the middle, intercepted by Melty Crispy. Does go a bit wide. Sabine gets demoed. No clear from Jonas. He does make the stop though, but JWBS will force it in, and it's already 3-0 Spooks.
3-0. I was gonna say actually, every coach, every analyst on RSC always says a 2-0 lead is the worst lead to have. And I think Palmis agree. So they wanted to get 1 more on target, 1 more in the net. And like you said, Cardinals not looking too good, not looking a bit steady. They're not ready, it looks like, to play this game just yet, as this is a 4th shot on target. This one isn't gonna go in, but the ball back into the middle. There is JWS once more, hits the post, but it's not safe just yet. Call it the 4th. Melfi scores.
It's just turning into utter humiliation in this game number 1. Barely 90 seconds have passed, and already 4 in Cardinals net. 2 from Melty Crispy, 1 from Captain Deadpool, and 1 from JWBS. So it's a very good overall team performance so far, and they look poised to keep going. Melty Crispy clicked down in his corner, gets it past one of them, but Hivis intercepts it and prevents him from going any further, but he gets beaten out. And there's Jonas to make the stop. That's his 3rd of the game already, and Sabine will come across to clear that one, doing her shift on the defensive end. They still need to get out. There's just someone there every time for Pamis, but now this could be their chance to break. That touch isn't the greatest. Hiva's shot on target saved,
Close.
and only just. Still back, still in the orange half. No goal yet.
JWS Looking for the pinch, not getting the pinch to his name. It's Sabine, has a lot of time, takes that time. I like to see that. That's something you want to see. Onto the backward this time around. Someone needs to be there to finish it, but a bit of a miscommunication, meaning that the ball will not be hit on target. Sabine once again has the control, hits it high. Can he find another chance to shoot it on target? No, they can't. It's Deadpool once again. Captain Deadpool, what can you do on your own? Captain, no, Captain can't hit the ball. That means that Hyvis hits the ball high for the follow-up. Can he get it on target? Yes, he does. Hyvis finally gets a goal for Cardinals.
Cardinals starting to warm up a little bit. Hyvis just pops it high over the top of JWS, who did all he could to try and reach that one, but it was just too far. And Hyvis had that planned out. Needs to just tap it home to get one back, maybe a little bit of a lifeline early on in the series. But Pamis immediately back with that onslaught of shots, but just too slow to be able to capitalize on any of that pressure. Just trying to build up again. Jonas Chair beating out GWS, and Hyvis can go for the redirect. It is a shot on target, but Melty Crispy will be able to save that one. But now they're the one feeling a bit of the pressure. Captain Deadpool remaining composed, gets it away. Popped off by Melty Crispy. But Pamis remaining composed for now. Maybe this will be the rest of the series, how it's going to look.
Middle, it's Captain Deadpool looking for the clear, and it seems that Pamis right now they're just looking to waste time. Make sure the clock is ticking down further. A good demo in the middle. The ball goes on into the middle. JWS looking for the shot. It's on target, but so is the save. Clearing it, gone. Hyvis now, what can you do? Looking for a teammate. The idea is there. It's in his head. The execution just needs a bit of work. Can he find the pass here? It does go into the middle, but not where you would want it to be. Jonas Share now. Can he find a second touch? Goes onto the backboard. It's an awkward spot for Melty Crispy, and the shot from Sabine brings back Cardinals. And where we thought it would have been over already, it's all of a sudden 2-4 with 1 minute 15 left.
Yeah, but it's something you mentioned before at the backboard. It was just left open for Jonas to exploit and find Sabine in the middle, who placed their shot very well past the last defender to make this task a lot more manageable, to make the comeback. And this could be a third here. That one's just going to roll, but JWS takes it away. Good 50 from Hyvis. He's going to try and slow it down, but Melty Crispy maintaining the tempo, making sure Cardinals can't get any control, even though they've gotten two back. They're trying to remain in control of the game, but they haven't really been able to get out of their own half in the last minute or so. That 50's been going to the middle. Jonas squandering that chance, and that could have been what really fired Cardinals up, but instead it might have just been what cost them this game number one. But there's still time, 30 seconds, but that 30 seconds will go away quicker than you know it. And Cardinals, they need something right now.
That could have been it. And I think, oh no, if this goes in as well, that would have been the dagger. But Merits, I think you would have been upset as well, because seeing that goal not going in, you probably think to yourself, that should have gone in, and this one does bounce on in. It happens for Melty here. A bit of an unconventional goal here, but hey, I don't think Palmis will care about this. Anyway, this goes in. It is in. It is the 5-2, 11 seconds on the clock. It's no longer happening here for Cardinals. They have to go back to game 2. But I think Merits, quite honestly, I think Cardinals can be a bit better, a bit happier now. Because, let's be honest, they did not start off right at all. But they did come back a bit.
Certainly did. They start to warm up a bit. This could be a third though. JWS coming across to stop that. They're going to try and keep it up, but it will eventually fall. Melty Crispy leading the way in that game number one, scoring himself a hat trick in the 5-2 victory. 566 points, closely followed by Captain Deadpool, about 100 points behind, but he put in his shift as well. It's a very overall good team performance for Pamis, but doesn't mean to say that Cardinals didn't play well either. Yes, they had a slow start, but they did sort of start to come back into it, and maybe they'll be able to carry that on.
I'm mostly looking at Jonas Share for Cardinals. He started off insanely well on defense for the team, getting, of course, those 3 saves, and he got it quite early on as well. But offensively, I want to see more of him. He's clearly one of the important players on that team, so why not let him be more free, get the other two maybe to sit back a tiny bit more, maybe get Sabine to be more prepared, and let Hyvis and Jonas get more into that offense, get more shots on target. On the other end, like you said, Palmis, they're just all three of them playing well. All three of them getting good points, all three of them getting good shots on target. I mean, it is just purely a case of 5 shots on target against a total of, and let me count, let my maths be good, 10 shots. That is double the amount of shots, and that, I mean, it showed itself, right? The amount of shots also got converted.
Yep, aim too, but something you said about Jonas, he is actually the sub for Cardinals, filling in for Masters, their other main roster player who couldn't attend, so maybe that's why they're not, you know, forcing Jonas to be the most attacking player, because maybe it's something to do with like a confidence thing, but you know, they're still scoring, so it seems to be working. That's a good flip reset off the start, forcing the double commit, but the save is made by Hyvis. That's a very promising start to game number 2 on Forbidden Tempo. And it's Palmis taking the lead just seconds after from Melty Crispy.
Palmis!
And it was a very nice touch there to control it, and the placement is even better.
Palmis, what's going on? We start off with a flip reset on target, and then the next one is a shot like that. Oh my, Palmis! They are here to play. They want to go through. Refresh my memory real quick, Merits. Was Palmis one of the teams you expected to go through as they get a second goal? Were they one of the teams you expected to go through?
I did predict them to win 3-1, but it's definitely looking more like a sweep with Melty Crispy and the second just 30 seconds in. But back to that previous point, if Palmis were to win this series, which I have to say is looking more than likely, they go on to face Hot Metal straight after this, so they don't even get to rest. They're straight back into the action on stream against Hot Metal, who are 4th seed out of Ignis for their chance to make the playoffs on Saturday. This could be a third Melty Crispy, not able to get the correct read. Instead, Captain Deadpool puts it towards net. Hyvis able to prevent that one going in. Pass infield, Melty for the hat trick. Sabine with the stop, and that one can go over JWS, and the counter-attacking goal, it comes off, and Hyvis has put Cardinals back into this game.
Hyvis, he did what was exactly needed, a quick counter-attack. Notice that Palmis were being a bit over-aggressive. That third man was being pushed up way too far. Maybe the flip reset and the crazy angled goal got them a bit too confident, and it led to this counter-attack goal going right into the net. But it's not over just yet. This is another good attack. JWS can't get this on target, and Sabine hits it on high. Jonas looking for some control. Can he break it out? Yes, he gets it past one, but 0 boost in the tank. It's gonna be very tough to get this in front of the net, and he indeed does not succeed in it. But Hyvis, good position, looking for the pass into the middle, but cannot do it by himself.
For Cardinals, I think it's a story of the slow starts, which is what Palmis are capitalizing on. But you know, a minute, 2 minutes in, that's when they start to come alive. But maybe those 2 goals were already, you know, enough for Palmis to remain confident enough to keep the pressure on, even with Cardinals' efforts offensively. But you never know in Rocket League. All it takes is one shot, especially in the prospect tier when everything is admittedly very unpredictable. But you know, maybe Palmis are just a bit too strong. They're trying to start an attack here. Melty Crispy plays it down the line. Captain Deadpool beats that one. JWS trying to put on net. Instead it'll go back to the corner, but Hyvis, no boost, just going to try and take it away, but put it back into the middle. Sabine passes it out, so it's going to be launched forward. He didn't have the boost to really act on that. Melty Crispy, risky clear, and Jonas can only put a shot straight into the octane of JWS. Half the game gone, and it's now 3-1.
Good shot here, good pass. I mean, not the pass that we would have wanted. Sabine is the one actually hitting it into the middle, but in the end, it does go in. It's good punishment. Let's be honest here, Mertz. You probably agree. It's a good punishment of the mistake that happened.
Yeah, but you're saying great pass probably wasn't the best phrasing you could have used there, because it just sounds a bit toxic. But this could be a 4th already. Jonas with the last-ditch stop, and Sabine saving the follow-up, just saving Cardinals in general there. But it's all going to be in vain. Sabine probably wasn't the least preventable shot of them all, but she just lets it in. Got a little bit caught in the post. and it just rolled off her car into the back of the net, and
So-
Palmas are running away with it once more.
Sabine is having a nightmare right now. They really are, because, I mean, you said that my great pass call out was a bit toxic. It can get way worse. When we get to the higher ranks, when me and Danny Boy are casting together, you don't want to listen, because we'll be ripping into everyone. Here, I'm still being nice. This is still nice, Spooks.
I will want to know what naughty spooks is then, but
I wouldn't
Cardinals
call it
forced
naughty,
into-
because Danny is now going to laugh his ass off. Thank you very much for that. Now I have Danny laughing. But all in all, 4-1 merits. It's looking like Palmas is just the better team. It's simple as that. Cardinals is trying their best right now, but it's just not clicking together, just not going well enough right now. And this is looking like the 5th one could have gone in already. If you have to change anything, Merits, I'm gonna ask you, what would you change on the side of Cardinals? Because something needs to go differently.
Well, in an ideal world, they'd have Masters, but since that's not the case, I think they just need to play to their own individual strengths. It seems to be slowing play down, maybe incorporating some fakes into the play, because Palmas seem very jumpy and it's working because Cardinals just wouldn't get the ball away and it's just going straight back to Palmas. So they really just have to try and incorporate some fakes and slow things down, and try and bait out Palmas into overcommitting, and they'll find some easy goals. But into the last minute of game number 2, it's looking more and more likely that a reverse sweep would be in order for Cardinals to advance in closer to the playoffs, but I just don't see it happening unless some sort of a minor miracle were to happen, because Melty Chris has been on fire. JWS, he's scored a brace this game, and he's been just dancing around the defense, and he's danced around there, beating all 3 of them by himself to complete his hat-trick.
Completes a hat-trick, gets past 3 defenders. What more can you ask for, really, realistically? It's a bit scary how good Palmas is looking right now, because I don't feel like Cardinals is playing all that horribly. They're just struggling to get this ball onto the offense. While on the other end, like you said, yes, Palmas, they're a bit jumpy, but they are reading their opponents to a T. Look at here, they're just patient. They're having a third man back, always ready to go for it when it needs to be going. And here, right again, demo comes out, boom. They can't break free from defense. Cardinals just cannot get any rest. This one is going to be dangerous as well. Good hit forward. Once again, this should have been the 6th, but it did not go in. And quite honestly, I think we're going to be looking at a sweep here. I think I chose the wrong team to support tonight.
Yeah, that's why I don't support based on the name of a player, Spooks.
I respect your opinion, but I will respectfully put it to the side and will still support based on names.
You do you, I guess, but I went for Palmas. Maybe it was a bit too lenient to Cardinals. I should just went for the sweep. But hey, you never know. Something just miraculously changed, which is actually quite commonplace in Rocket League. So you never know.
Especially
Cardinals
this
could,
rank.
Especially this rank. I wouldn't know. But even with that added RNG factor, I just don't see the scoreline changing in Game 3.
Me neither. It's sad to say, really, because, like, let's be honest, the only real offensive chance we saw out of Cardinals was the counterattack they got, which they ended up into getting a goal from Ivis. Other than that, I did not see any offensive prowess, any offensive pressure coming out from them. It really looked quite flat, in my opinion, and that's a sad thing to say. It doesn't mean they are out of this just yet. Let me rephrase that. They are not out of this just yet. This is Prospect. Prospect is in the ranks where anything can change from one game to the other. But with the way Palmas is playing right now, and that's the scary part, you said they were quite jumpy. They're doing something I love to see. They're putting first man aggressive, let him be jumpy, let him do what you said, but they always have someone back. Apart from the one time they got scored on, they always have had someone back on the midfield line, waiting to go, waiting to challenge, waiting to punish mistakes. And we might see it again as we see Palmas on match point. Can they get it in a sweep?
It would be, the most educated of guesses you could put forward at this point. And already starting on the offensive, high vis, missing that one, but Jonas backing his teammate up. Normally that'd be class of double commit, but it was definitely necessary in that scenario. Already 30 seconds in, and so much pressure being put on Cardinals, but this could be their one and only chance of this game, but it does go to waste for now. Jonas not able to get the clear and now it's Pamis creating the first opportunity of the game, but it's cleared away by Cardinals. Alan's going to go on net. Captain Deadpool doesn't make the stop. Neither does JWS. Can Jonas get there? No. Sabine takes the shot and saved by JWS off the goal line. And that is, I believe, what we call a prospect moment.
Prospect moment, typical prospect plays, of course. It's a word I normally tend to stray away from it saying that, because let's be honest, it can be a bit rude sometimes, but it has its uses. As Melty here looks to get the ball into the middle, it's Jonas blocking it off, getting blocked by Captain Deadpool, one of the names I actually also like to see, quite honestly. But the ball back into the orange half. Melty Crispy, can you clear it? Finally, some offensive pressure coming out from Cardinals, but the good 50 leads the ball to bounce on out, but 0 boost in Melty's. He still has no boost and he still gets the ball. What is going on here? We need to see someone out of ball mist challenge that. You cannot give someone with 0 boost that much space.
Definitely. This could be the opening goal here. Melty Crispy able to get back to it. And this is the longest we've went without a goal in this series so far. Just about 2 minutes.
Round of applause, everybody. Woo!
This could be the chance. Captain Deadpool puts it wide. JWS, no follow-up for him. Melty puts that one just wide of the net. And now the counter-attack comes again. 2-on-1. But the defense comes out on top. Second touch nearly there for Pamis. But they'll have plenty of other opportunities, I'm sure. Melty Crispy, no boost again. They'll still be able to try and get the 50, but it does go past him, and Captain Deadpool gets demoed on as the third man. But now JWS goes alone, goes for the foot reset. 50 made by Hivers. He's been the main man on defense, stopping most opportunities that Pamis have, and that just speaks testament to how many shots Pamis are getting. If Masters is stopping quite a lot of them before they can reach the net, and they're still scoring about 5 goals per game. It just shows how dominant Pamis are. But Cardinals, they're starting to get ever closer to that opening goal.
It's looking quite closely. Cardinals finally putting up a good fight. Like I said before, in the small break we have in between the games, you can't see a change coming out from Cardinals. We can't see unexpected things where one game we see someone absolutely getting destroyed, and the next game they're doing stuff like this. A good hit from Ivis. It's going to be awkward for JWS, but he still gets the hit away. He's been looking quite good, looking for a pass to himself. Can't get it out of himself, but Melty 50ing 2 people in a row. It's JWS with a good demo in the middle as well. Can Captain Deadpool get it back into the middle? JWS, what can you do? It's not on target. Captain Deadpool getting 50. The ball bounces out to the side, and it's Sabine getting the boost, getting the ball, but the 50 is going to be hard and not in their favor. Still 0-0, and we're approaching the last minute.
This game is actually very intense compared to the other 2 we've had so far. Cardinals still remaining in it, and this could be another chance going forward, but the double commit might halt any opportunity for that to progress. And Melty Crispy taking no prisoners of that clearance. Hivers trying to slow play down. The touch does get away from him a little bit. He does get the clear of the backboard though. This could accelerate their attack a little bit. Captain Deadpool a little bit awkward on that one. Hivers sends it to the backboard, back into the middle, and no one goes for it from Cardinals, and Captain Deadpool trying to clear it away. Melty Crispy slowing things down, Sabine all over that 50. Last 50 seconds, still goalless, but Pamis will hopefully beat. They're hoping they're the ones to break the deadlock, because overtime is a very daunting thing in playoffs.
It is. Jonas, what can you do? He misses the ball. He was the last man. It can be dangerous. JWS, what can you do? Well, the demo from the Bean, very necessary to gain some time for his team. Hivis, a good big clear, but Captain Deadpool dropping it straight on down. No one there to help him out. Hivis, big booming clear. It seems that neither of these 2 teams really want to control right now. They just want to go to overtime. They don't want to lose before the clock hits 0 seconds. Sabine once again brings the ball forward. Good hit from Melty, has to boost the boot and can go further forward. It's Hivis once again. The seconds are ticking down. 0 seconds, the ball drops on down. And an unexpected overtime in game 3.
Yep, and this could be Cardinals' chance, if any, to take a game. But promised immediately going back on the offensive. Sabine forcing to stop. Melty back into the middle. JVS is there. The 50 goes towards that blue corner, and Hivis will get away. Still has boost for the follow-up. He's going to be the one leading the attack. Puts it into the middle. Melty Crispy, very risky clear. Hivis gets down with Jonas. The shot is a bit too high. Can get the follow-up. No, Sabine is there though. Shot also too high and no one there for the follow-up. And Pamis do get away with that for now. And they're trying to get their attacking swing going in this overtime. Because so far it's actually been all Cardinals.
It has been, and it's weird to say, but don't count out Palmas. We've seen their mechanics on display before. We've seen how good they can be. A mistouch leads into a bump, a very necessary one to be hitting it forward once again. Melted Crispy trying to get it away, but hit back into the middle. It's Captain Deadpool trying for a pass, getting intercepted by Hyvis once again. Still, neither of these two teams look like they want to finish off this overtime so far. It's a bit of a good clear forward, but again, I'm lacking a bit of control, maybe a bit of team play coming out, because I feel that's what's necessary to win this overtime.
Yep, and it's Cardinals who are actually outshooting Pamis 5 shots to 4. So it's definitely been a stark contrast to those first two games. But you've got to think Pamis, they still have something in their locker to try and take this series in a sweep, and that was very close from JWS. But it hit the post and bounced down. And see now, Pamis starting to get a little bit, overzealous, trying to find that goal. And so are Cardinals, both teams sending 2 forward on 1 ball quite often now. And we've almost had 2 minutes in this overtime. Neither team yet to break the deadlock.
0-0, and especially in Prospect, it's something we almost never see, especially in overtime. It is almost unheard of to go this long without any goals. And I'm gonna be honest here, neither of these two teams are playing bad, but this should be it. But the ball hits the side, doesn't go on target, actually hits the corner. Hyvis, that's a dangerous ball to bring back into the middle. This should be on in. JWS finishes it off. We have a sweep. It is almost finishing it off.
What's inevitable, in all honesty, despite all the pressure Cardinals had, they just didn't look threatening at all. All the shots that were just run towards the net or just going wide. But, Pamis deserved winners in the end, going on to face Hot Metal next up on this stream right here. And Hot Metal, they would have to be a bit worried following that performance there from Pamis. Mature performance up and down the field. They were putting shots on net, they were scoring shots, but they were also making saves and winning 50s in the midfield. It was a very well-rounded performance, and they took the sweep in very dominant fashion despite the close overtime.
They took it in a sweep, and yeah, overtime I did not expect really after what we saw before, where it was just so one-sided. To see this out of Cardinals, to come back like that, it's beautiful to see, but it's also quite painful to see eventually that Palmas is just like, yep, we're done, we're winning here. And you could see it coming eventually, where Palmas was just running the offense, getting more pressure, getting better and better with every second in the overtime, where Cardinals, I lacked a bit of the aggression. What they had in the normal game, they lacked in overtime, and they could not get back into it.
Definitely, but it was certainly more promising towards the end, but it just wasn't enough, and they are the first team eliminated from the Prospect play-ins and playoffs. But it was definitely a valiant effort towards the end. They just set themselves up to fail by not taking either of those first 2 games. And Pamis, they're now moving on to play Hot Metal in about 20 minutes time, so stick around for more RSC action.
So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay, won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. Coming for the throne. wanna be my enemy. You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. Storm's coming, so you better start running. No, we can't control, feel it in our bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. Coming for the throne. Coming for the throne.
Open your eyes and don't stay blinded by the lies you force upon yourself. Because in the end, you know it's not true. I need you, so don't throw it away. Don't pretend that it's not you. If it's love that you feel, then don't let it all go to waste. We both feel the same. Just don't say you don't, 'cause I know that you do it again. If it's time that you need, then take it in at your own pace. Admit to yourself you can't say you won't, 'cause I know that you do it again.
When you want to get off that darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground,
Stone that meets the moon. I'm the sun in the world no more. Do you think you are? Who do you think you
Everyone, welcome back to RSC11 playoffs. Back in the prospect here. It's the play-ins once more, and we're back for Pamis taking on Hot Metal. Joining me once again, it's not Spooks this time, it's Sir Winalot03. How are you doing tonight?
Well, I'm pretty excited. There's something about a play-in match that can't be matched, really. The season games, they're great, they are, but when there's something on the line, when it's winning you're in, the emotions run higher.
Certainly win or go home. It's that sort of exciting format that just reels everyone in, and it certainly looks like an amazing matchup we have. Previously, we saw Cardinals get swept by the same Pamis roster. We'll be seeing going up once again for the decider match to see which team will get into the playoffs. Hot Metal, 4th seed coming out of Ignis, narrowly missing that top 3 spot to put them in the upper bracket, but they're still fighting and they got that bye, so they a little bit more time to warm up. But Pamis, they have been on an absolute tear in that last series, sweeping Cardinals, and now they're here.
That is a big moment for them to take a series so strongly. Momentum's big in Rocket League, so we'd expect Pamis to come out strong here, and it could very well be anyone's game.
I agree with you there. Obviously, we saw Pamis last time, 5th seed out of Glacis, sweeping Cardinals, a 5-2, a 5-1, and a very close 1-0 overtime win in that game number 3 to secure the sweep. But Hot Metal, there are no pushovers. Expect it to be a lot harder than the last series to get into this one. And I believe we are now looking at the team stats. So we're going to what can you tell us?
Well, from the amount of wins, it's actually fairly close. With how close it is, it's almost as if you have to know a team's playoff DNA in order to tell what stats are going to matter here, because a lot of them are very close. But more goals for this Hot Metal team, and also more goals against, so they seem to be a bit of a high-flying team, go. So this is one of those where 46 saves compared to 17 in favor of Pamis. You got to look at the fact that maybe there's a team that maybe sits back, slower pace of play, not taking as many chances. We have to wonder what happens when the playoffs show up, because every team plays a little bit differently.
I'm noticing the Cardinals and Hot Metal had a relatively similar play style, more goals than Pamis, but also more conceded. So Pamis definitely the more consistent team, but Hot Metal also with the better shooting percentage, I believe. And they got 40 wins compared to Pamis 36 in league play. But I believe Hot Metal also playing with their sub Zombie Killer, an 1100 CMV player, in place of Gav, who is 1230 CMV. So that could certainly change the perplexion of this matchup.
It's going to be, especially if the pace of play starts to get a little bit higher. That's when you start to wonder, how true are these stats? Well, we find out in the playoffs. This is when people either bring their best or they crumble, right? This is where the nerves start to come true to yourself, and this is where your true self can shine. So, that being said, with the substitution today, do you think it's going to be an effect on the other team or their own team?
But we actually saw Cardinals using their sub in the last series as well, so Pamis definitely know how to take advantage of those low CMV players. But I believe we're now looking at the player stats over in Hot Metal. I see JPEG FC 1 goal per game, 99 saves in just 65 games, and same goes
Amazing.
for laners. 65 games played, 40 goals, 65 saves. So that's exactly 1 save per game, and a 34 assists. Who catches your eye on Pamis, on the other hand?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna just go with the obvious one here, and it's hard to kind of look over Crispy. You know, it's just someone that has been there. He is playing today, right?
Yes.
Well, I think we're gonna know that. That's the point of that question, because he has been just the rock, and I have a strong opinion about playoffs, and it's the consistency that you can bring into it that makes a championship team, and defense wins championships. I always choose the defensive team, so I think that's what we're gonna get today from him.
It's definitely Melty Crispy was high flying in the last series along with JWS. But I believe now we're moving on to our predictions. I'm going to go first. And Pamis looks so good in the last series, I just can't put past them again. But I think Hot Metal will take a game. I'm going for 3-1 to Pamis. What about you?
Well, I'm just gonna make it interesting. That's what I'm here to do, and I'll tell you right now, I'm going on the opposite of you. I'm gonna go directly opposite, and we're gonna see where the chips fall. All right, 3-1 for our Hot Metal, guys.
Very bold prediction indeed, especially
Uh-huh.
with Hot Metal using their sub. But
Uh-huh.
it's all comes down to how those teams are feeling on the field. Maybe Hot Metal are playing absolutely, exceptionally, defying the stats, you could say. But it all comes down to how they're feeling in the end. We've seen Pamis already this evening, and they looked good, and I just can't find a way to put it past them. But we're now looking towards game number 1. And it's about to get underway on DFH Stadium. Sir Winnerlock, take us away.
Yeah, can't wait for this one. We hear the engines going, and they're off. We have our play-in started. A big kickoff that's going to go directly down onto the goal line here. It's going to have to be saved early. It's up. Oh my goodness! Did anybody see it starting like this? I don't know. Maris, what do you have to say about that?
It was a good 50 from the kickoff from Legend Lanry himself. But you've got to think Captain Deadpool would have been able to do a little bit more of that one. Instead, he just side flipped and hit off his car into his own net. And Hot Metal with a very good start, but straight in the other end is Pamis. Legend Lanry getting it away. He's an Adam in RSC, and he's certainly trying to take control of this game number 1. But Pamis get cleared away, and Captain Deadpool takes to the skies, gets one touch, and it's going to go on net. But Legend Lanry getting a save again, put into the middle. JWS is there, shot on net, and it's a very good play there. And it's all side up.
Can't believe it here. He rotates so strongly into the middle of the field. Look at that pass. Gets it back to the close post. Not a lot of space to shoot there. Finds it though. And we're 1-1. Those a huge goal 30 seconds in. You don't want it to go too distanced in between those goals. Responding early is important. Huge face off there. And we see the ball go up the left wall. And they're going to be looking to get there first. They do. And Zombie Killer did well. But he is going to be stuck in the rotation without boost. They do pause for a second here, get timing down. They're trying to keep, that's good possession. They're going to keep possession today. They're going to do a lot better. Zombie is on the attack. He gets it past the right side. The wall is their friend right now. Here they go onto the left wing. It's going to be a big 50. He gets it over. JPEG did well there. A great redeflection, but it is saved on the goal line. As this pace picks up, Mertz, I gotta say, it looks like this is going to be quite the game.
Game number 1's turning a lot closer than some would expect, but Hot Metal, they're putting up a very good effort. Hot Metal, Starman, JPEG trying to create a chance. But Zombie Killer, who's been catching my eye so far, he's been providing quite a few attacking opportunities for Hot Metal, but Legend Lanry hitting the post, JPEG not able to get the fall from Zombie Killer. Puts the 50 back into the middle, and it's just a little bit wide again. Hot Metal shooting not being the greatest so far, and maybe that will be one of the reasons for a potential downfall. That's a good bump. Legend Lanry is there, he puts it a bit too high. Zombie Killer beats out JWS, but Melty Crispy, the star man for Pamis, gets it away.
It looks like Deadpool there was going to be doing well on the 50, and he's actually, I feel like Deadpool's been very strong for Palmas this game. However, we do starting to see the big boys come into play. Crispy's starting to take over, and I feel like he's going to get one soon, to be honest with you. There he does! And you can just feel it starting to come there, Mertz. You could feel his play starting. He was getting the ball first, starting to dictate play a little bit. And he gets a good one off the half volley, and he gets it to go to the top part of the net.
Yeah, but you called it literally seconds before it happened.
Yep, could feel it.
He was going to get the goal, and he got the goal. But, you know, that backboard in Prospect, it's so easy to exploit, and it happened once again. It was defended, but the clear just wasn't made by Legend Lanray.
Oh.
What? Okay,
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not quite sure how you missed that, but Hot Metal will be thanking their lucky stars that he did, but they're not going to have any rest from the onslaught that Palmas are providing them in this game number 1. Captain Deadpool already up for that one. JBS trying to play like a little bit of a nuisance, getting some bumps and some demos. But it's Melty Crispy, the one to exploit the back line, and he's got a second goal, and they're 2 goals up now.
Yeah, he is, you're right, that backboard is being exploited. That's a really good comment there because it's starting to happen. You can see them starting to try to adjust, but I think Crispy's starting to take over. So we're going to see where this goes. They're going to have to make some adjustments second game if they can't get something going this one.
Yeah, but it's best of 5, so you do have those 3 lives. It's not like RC. You can lose, well, you can lose in RC, but
yeah, yes,
you know,
yes.
This is definitely has a lot more stakes. Win and you make it to Saturday, lose and you're watching on Saturday. And Palmas certainly don't want to be watching. They've had a very good start, similar to the start they had against Cardinals, and JPEG, someone who I pinpoint that actually hasn't been, you know, making the most of an impact that he could be. And it's actually been Legend Lanray, who I've had my eyes on for most of this game number 1 for Hot Metal, trying to create another chance, but it is cleared away. The double commits coming through from Hot Metal. It does work, it does get into the middle, but it's cleared away by Palmas, and they're looking pretty comfortable.
They're definitely looking more comfortable than you and I up here right now. We're sitting on the edge of our seats, grinding our teeth, wondering where the next amazing play is going to come from, and it might be happening soon as they do steal boosts in the midfield, so they are going to have an advantage going on net. That is a tough whiff here because it is going to be a counterattack, and this is what really changes games. The fake! He can't! It's back in! What a great save! Oh, he held his ground there. He had to be so strong. You could feel him trying to not click the button. Don't jump, and he held so good there. That's a huge game saver. If they score that, we don't know where this end of this game is going to go. So here they come back with another onslaught of attacks as Box is getting it out of their box. Great save, great touch there. And this game is starting to open up, but it might be a little bit too late for Metal here because there's only 30 seconds left. So now they're fighting against the clock, and if something's gonna happen, it's gotta have to happen for them now.
Yeah, like you said, time rapidly running out. This will be one of the only chance to get in. It's JPEG in the skies. Gets it past Captain Deadpool, no second touch. Lanray is there, it's gonna hit the post.
Oh.
Zombie killer, bit of an overcommit, and this will surely kill the game. Can Melty Crispy put it in? No, he can't. JBS is there, but it's cleared away. And you've got to think Melty should have completed his hat trick. But it won't matter as game 1 will go the way of Palmas, and they're 1/3 of the way there to making it to the playoffs on Saturday.
They are. They can taste it, and I can't help but get too excited off that. What a start to the game, what an end, and you know what? You've been right every time I've been with you, Mertz. Can I call you Mertzy? Is that okay with that? I like Mertzy. Anyways, I can tell you right now, you just seem to be right about everything, and I should never go against you again, but I will get a win against you one day. And that is hopefully what Metal is thinking right now, because they need a win in this next game. You don't want to go 2-0 down because a reverse sweep is not always easy. Doable, not always easy.
Yep, and for your prediction to come through, they need to win the next 3 games unresponded. But, you know, if Melty Crispy is on top form like he was that game, it's going to be very hard to stop him. 2 goals for Melty Crispy and an assist. He was involved in every single goal that game, and Palmas were heavily out shooting Hot Metal, 8 shots to 4, and JPEG, I think he's going to need to be the one to step up for Hot Metal if they have, you know, a chance to make it through.
I agree, and you know what? I think they would be good to remember that there were a couple of moments in that game where they could have scored and it could have changed. It could have changed the outcome. And Rocket League's like that. Miss a chance at one and goal at the other. So we're starting the next game here, Mertzy. And this big kickoff is going to be a huge thing, isn't it?
Yeah, my name's not Mertzy though, it's Merits. Obviously game number 2 underway, Melty Crispy messing up his kickoff. And Hot Metal straight on the offensive, JPEG switching decals I've noticed, going back to the stock team, no changes made whatsoever, but it's not going to change that Pamis are scoring. Captain Deadpool 13 seconds in, 1-0 to Pamis.
And it looks like more of the last game is coming through here, and I don't know. This is going to be tough. The pace of play just seems too fast for Hot Metal right now. It's too early to say it's over, of course, but they are going to have to play better and faster if it's not going to be over. And here they go with a great chance off the read of the backboard. That's a close one. Just ran out of boost there, but it's still open. It's still live. It could be. He gets the bump. Oh, that's a great defense, defensive play by Box there. Another one.
You've got to think Hot Metal need to be doing more on chances like that, where they have a free shot, but they're just not able to capitalize off it, because Pamis go straight down the other end and put shots on your net, and they're more than likely to score them with how prolific they've been so far this series and the last series as well. They've already put a couple shots on net. They have put 2 shots on net compared to Hot Metal's 1. And minute gone. Still 1-0. JPEG trying to create a little bit of magic though. It's going to be denied in Legend of Lanry. Demoed. And the shot. Not going to go in. Rebound Melty Crispy. JPEG gets the save. And just about as well. That could have been easily 2-0, but could easily be 1-1.
I agree. That's a really good point. I like the point you made about taking your chances, because there doesn't seem like they're going to get a ton of them against Palmas. So an opportunity like that, you almost wonder, you got to score them. But here they are making a save at the other end, and they're back alive. That could be our turning point of this game. That goes in 2-0 tough, 1-0 still. If they can find the next goal here, it could be that they actually end up winning this game because of those moments, and it's those moments that matter in the playoffs. It's what the players are made of here. As we get back to the action, the game is stuck in the midfield a bit again. That happens to Rocket League a little bit. Both teams jockeying for good possession, good position. The ball has been up and the defense has just been there, but that is a whip, and we'll see if they can score here. Great backboard defense. We have to admit the backboard defense on one end is a bit better than the other right now. Like you said earlier, that's a good call, and we'll see if they can handle that.
Yeah, but 2 minutes gone, slightly less scoring, but a lot more clear-cut chances just haven't been converted, especially from that Hot Metal side. Mainly, you know, I mentioned that name again, JPEG.
Yep.
He's been the one creating the chances, but he just can't seem to be able to finish any of them. And it's really taken its toll on the team, as now Hot Metal forced to backtrack, but JPEG carrying the ball forward once again. That one's on net, but Melty Crispy comes off the backboard and makes the stop, and he picks up that mid boost and he sets his way towards the blue net, puts it towards net, but Laners will get the clear away, but still not out of the woods yet, and see double commits coming through, maybe a sign that Hot Metal are beginning to panic.
That's always the first sign. That's when the bleeding starts, when you start being, how we got to make something happen. You start gripping the controller too tight, right? And you're thinking, I got to do this, I got to do that. Sometimes it's better. Stay calm. Your goal will come. Theirs came in the first 30 seconds. Yours might come in the last, right? But they do have to take their chances. If JPEG is up, he hits a flip reset, but still a great save by Box. I feel like their defense is so strong, like we talked about before in the game. It's really tough for them to get anything going there. They have 3 people on the goal line, and they are just counterattacking after counterattack. And I hope for our sake we see something, because something's got to give. But with Box taking the ball off the field here, they're going to get off the left wall. He could get the double tap. He does off the post. Deadpool can turn it in. He's just got to take a touch. He's waiting for Crispy. Crispy doesn't come. It gets off to the left wall here, and it's going to be safely into the corner. He is going to get boost, though, so they could keep it in here. This is the time. This is the time. Their chance is coming. You can smell the chance coming here. Are they going to take it? That is the question. And I have to wonder, how much do you throw up here? Do you throw up everyone? Do you keep people back still? Or do you start getting a bit more desperate?
Since Hot Metal are a game down, needs to start putting a bit more urgency, just getting the ball away and making sure someone with boost is there to chase it and keep the pressure on, especially with a weak shot like that from from Melty Crispy. And this could be the chance of an attack. Last minute, Legend of Lanry can't get past Melty Crispy. JPEG instead going to try and take it away, but instead he's going to leave it. Zombie Killer getting that 50 over into the orange half, and this could be the start. Zombie Killer stealing the boost there, and he's still on the play. Melty Crispy goes to the ceiling, but beat out by JPEG. It's going to go in net. JWBS, third save of the game, and that could have been a very big save, as now less than 30 seconds for Hot Metal to find a response.
Oh, it was a close chance. It's too bad Legend didn't turn onto that one. If he just read his teammate was doing that, they actually had a really good opportunity there. It just didn't formulate. But here they go. The last 10 seconds. JPEG spin on. It could be. Is it? No, it's saved. Legend again chose Demo over the ball there. It could have been. It could have been. But 3 seconds left, and let's see if this game has anything to offer.
Pamis take game 2. And they're already on match point, but Hot Metal inching closer to finding that goal, but it just didn't come in the end. There's so many great chances being made, but the second man just rarely ever there to make a meaningful follow-up, and Pamis were allowed to just take control of the ball for 20-30 seconds at a time, and that's something you not want to be doing against a team like Pamis. You can just create so much pressure seemingly out of nothing.
Well, that's what it felt like. You're right. It's a really good point. It did seem like they were kind of sitting, waiting, pushing the ball to the corner. And then the couple of times that they did commit, they got countered hard. So maybe Hot Metal started saying, hey, let's not get that second guy too far up. But then they couldn't score. So they were kind of caught in between two minds there. I think you're right. Going into this third game, you'd imagine that they throw everything at the net here. They want to get on the board. And, it doesn't matter if you lose 9-0. If you don't score, it's the same as losing 1-0. So let's see if they can maybe commit a bit more to getting a goal this third game.
You missed all the shots you don't take, and they're suddenly going to start taking their shots if they want to get back into the series, because now they need a reverse sweep. It's going to be a very hard task for them, but if they can get one game back, start from there and then keep building up. Go to that game 5 where we haven't been so far today. And I'm certainly hoping to go there for some great action. Game 5s always have both teams going pedal to the metal for that final win, but we're not quite there yet. We have to focus on the here and now, which is game 3 with Pamis on match point.
Well, Zombie Killer with an early fake here. He could get it this time, and he doesn't elect a fake, and it's down and up. And you have to wonder how many chances one-on-one with the defender stuck on the goal line are they going to need before they score one. Those have to get converted. And it seems to me they just barely. Oh my God, Mary, he just barely got a touch on that, and he keeps it alive. Again, an early chance. And we see it still 0-0 this time. Does that mean we're going to see a change in the final score of this game? Because it's going back the other way. This is going to be off to the right side of the net, and it gets pinched over to the right part of the corner, and it is going to be cleared over the half line. And JPEG has to make the save, and he does. But Deadpool is going to turn on that, leaves it for Crispy. It's up off the crossbar. JPEG gets another good touch on it. I cannot see how much faster they could possibly play right now without making too many errors, but I can tell you right now, it's in. You can feel it coming there.
Hot Metal, they made so many clutch saves, but it just wasn't enough in the end. The pressure was building, and it finally came to a crescendo with Melty Crispy finding that from a very tough angle with 3 defenders in front of him, but he managed to get it through to make the first goal of the game for Pamis. And we know what happens when they score first. They haven't lost today. They haven't lost.
Oh, curse of the commentator! Oh, mercy, I thought you were going to get it. Yeah, that's a great save. I thought you were going to get it for a second, but you're right. You're still right. You're right. They score first, and they seem to just lock it down, don't they?
Yeah. But, Hot Metal, they got very close last game to finding that equalizer, and maybe this will be the game to do it, because if they can absorb all this pressure and maybe catch Pamis out 1 or 2 times and maybe sneak a little win in there, because they are, absorbing a lot of pressure right now, but they're not really doing anything with the ball except for giving it away back to the halfway line and just giving Pamis time and boost to reset their play. So they need to, take their own future, their own destiny back into their own hands and take the game to Pamis.
You're very right about that, and it does feel like, I kind of agree with you, there's something more that this game could give still. It feels like they're just kind of hanging around, right? Like, they're not getting dominated. You'd imagine that, they get some sort of stroke of luck at one point. Maybe this is it. That's a great 50. He kept it right on his car, and they are stealing boosts in the corners, but and then they whip, and it is that sort of game. maybe I have the curse of the commentator there, because I say one thing there, ends up in their net. Do you think the old lady's singing right now?
You know, there's half the game left, and the game we're playing is Rocket League, so you never know what's going to happen in a game like this, especially in a game as unpredictable as this. You know, Hot Metal went from making some great saves to just overcommitting, putting all of their eggs into the one basket, and just unfortunately didn't work out, but they're back making some pressure. Zombie Killer is up. Both
This has to be.
JPEG misses the shot, and Pamis get away, and it's just been that, you know, every single game it's been the same story for Hot Metal. They're creating chances, but they just seem allergic to the net almost. This could be a good chance. Legend Lanry doesn't read it correctly though, but still in the orange half. It's just been given away to the open net. It's not going to go in. Yes, it will actually. And maybe this is game, set, and match after all.
Well, it might have been. I think what you said earlier about just being allergic to the net might be right. They had something going there. They had some chances, and it just didn't end up in. You're right. Like, there was some sort of reason it wouldn't, and this is where we're at. 3-0, potentially series 3-0, with 2 minutes left here. I've seen comebacks like this before, but with the way that Thomas is playing right now, it doesn't feel like anymore that it's not going to go their way. They seem like they're in complete control of this.
But, you know, Hot Metal, they did have some kind of control with that game number 2. They had so many great opportunities, but they just didn't convert on any of them. It's like Pamis put magnets around the net and just attracted the ball to the backboard every single time there was a good opportunity. This is number one of them. No one was back, but the demo comes through from Captain Deadpool, and I think Hot Metal could use with, you know, creating some demos. You know, Gav, the player's missing for Hot Metal, is one of the top demo makers in the whole prospect division. You can certainly tell they're missing that sort of element of their gameplay, and maybe that's what, you know, is, you know, maybe JPEG's used to having a bit more space to do what he does, but since all 3 players are alive, then he has a lot less space to operate.
Yeah, it does feel like they didn't have as much space, and maybe that's why they missed a couple of chances, right? They didn't get maybe 2 chances in a row all game. They didn't have a lot of space, so when they finally got like a breath of space, it just felt like to them, you know, a little bit more pressure. But here they go. They could put one in. They still don't. And Box is actually going to counter pretty nicely here as it gets stuck in the mid. And it's going to be touched. No, it's not. It's going to be back up against the top part of the ceiling here. And JPEG does well to touch it down to his teammate. Legend does get it back up. Is this... Nope, Zombie's back getting boost. And they just seem to be on a weird rotation against... I don't know if it's... the Palmas rotation or if it's their own, but they can't be happy with some of the decisions, the timing of some of their decisions, because it seems like they have more to offer here. As the clock winds down, we might be congratulating these guys.
Yep, and Hot Metal, they went 12 minutes without a goal, and there certainly were chances for them to get those goals, but it's all in vain in the end. As Pamis 6-0 the day, they're through to Saturday, still in the lower bracket though. They only have that one life. But whoever they play on Saturday is surely going to be a little bit scared of what Pamis have brought in these 2 series tonight.
Well, I would be. If you watch that game, you're almost thinking, oh, look out for Crispy. He was everywhere and nowhere. He's timely, very timely. He just picks his moments and goes and gets it. I really appreciate that about a player. It's just their instincts. So, yeah, I think I'm never going to bet against you either again.
Yep, and this is twice now, went with 3-1 just for Pamis to sweep. So, you know, maybe I'm giving a bit too much faith in these teams. You know, I'm going to be a bit more ruthless in my predictions now. Just sweep Central for me, because this is how it's appearing to be so far. But, you know, maybe that next series that we have on show for you guys will change that. It's Jubitus versus Limousine in the upper bracket. Both teams already confirmed to be on Saturday, but the all-important seeding is what's up for grabs.
That is an important fixture, and it seems to me that this Palmas team is really ready to show everyone what they're made of.
Yep, indeed. But we're going to be seeing more on them on Saturday to crown our RSC prospect winner. But before that, we still have to get through the play-ins. You've got one more series tonight in the upper bracket in about 25 minutes. So we will see you then. Stick around.
See you guys.
heard you've been feeling lonely, but you don't ever call me. It's pathetic. Oh, I almost gave you my devotions. You were playing my emotions just to get it. Oh, but the truth's so loud. No more secrets now. I'm on overload, ready to explode. Time to call you out, 'cause you messed around. Don't need you no more, no. Cause boy, I never really liked you. I've been saying all this shit to spite you. No boy, I never really liked you. I hope that it all comes back to bite you. I heard you've been feeling lonely, but you don't ever call me. It's pathetic. Oh, I almost gave you my devotions. You were playing my emotions just to get it. Oh, but the truth's so loud. No more secrets now. I'm on overload, ready to explode. Time to call you out, 'cause you messed around. Don't need you no more, no. Yeah. Shawty loves it, yeah. Loves that I'm a goat. They don't want it, yeah. They scared of what I know. Told you the budget, yeah. I gotta get my own. Shout out my bros, this right here deserves a toast, yeah. A lot of people back home on my back and they know. Trying to get on my line, cause the people I know. Manifest this here, 7+ on the ropes. They ain't doing this shit, tripping over my flows. Yeah. I'm on the way, tell them I don't play. Yeah, I'm on the move, trying to get my pay. I might just move on and watch and pray. Yeah, I'm on the way, I'm on my way. Yeah. Manifest this here, 7+ on the ropes. They ain't doing this shit, tripping over my flows. Yeah. Shawty loves it, yeah. Loves that I'm a goat. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Shawty loves it, yeah. Loves that I'm a goat. They don't want it, yeah. They scared of what I know. Told you the budget, yeah. I gotta get my own. Shout out my bros, this right here deserves a toast, yeah. A lot of people back home on my back and they know. Trying to get on my line, cause the people I know. Manifest this here, 7+ on the ropes. They ain't doing this shit, tripping over my flows. Yeah. I'm on the way, tell them I don't play. Yeah, I'm on the move, trying to get my pay. I might just move on and watch and pray. Yeah, I'm on the way, I'm on my way. Yeah. Manifest this here, 7+ on the ropes. They ain't doing this shit, tripping over my flows. Yeah. Shawty loves it, yeah. Loves that I'm a goat. Yeah. Yeah.
Jubitus taking on Limousine, second seed out of Ignis, takes on third in the Glacies Conference for their chance to, stay in the upper bracket for Saturday, place themselves as well as possible, coming in to that pivotal day to decide who will win the RSC Prospect Championship. We've already had 2 series this evening, with Pamis sweeping Cardinals and then also sweeping Hot Metal. So, they went on a bit of a tear and they are through to Saturday. But you see they're looking to the upper bracket. We've got Limousine taking on Jubitus, and the winner of that will stay in the upper bracket coming in to Saturday. I'm not sure what's quite happening. I think my casting partner isn't quite present right now. I'm not sure
I'm
of
here,
that though.
but my camera has decided to stop working.
That's not great.
It is
See
not.
there on Wednesday as well, we'll have Dwarves taking on Kara, Winner taking on Terra, and then taking on Micah Faction to finish off play-ins. But before then, got one more series tonight, and I believe we're going to be moving on to the team stats. You see there, both teams taking 49 wins in league play, but Limousine scoring 14 more goals than Jubitus, so it's quite a big, gap in terms of goals scored with Limousine. Much more attacking side there, but they also have conceded a bit more, but more saves than Limousine, but less assists, more assists rather, shows that they are, the more attacking sort of team. They work well with each other a lot more. Moving on to the player stats though now. Over on Limousine, Abdul Qadir, 100 goals in league play in just 64 games, 83 saves and 47 assists. That is 147 goal contributions. That is a substantial amount, especially with how, tight the competition has been in Prospect this season. And his co-partner there, partner in crime, Nature Gaming, 67 goals as well in just 56 played. And moving on to Jubitus, who catches your eye, Virtue?
I'm looking at Banana. I know Banana quite well. I don't tend to cast or watch over this tier very often, so I know Banana, and I've seen a bit of Toxic. But yeah, Banana's stats. Well, he's got the second most goals, second most assists to Toxic. But yeah, definitely Banana.
Yep. Also looking at Jubitus, Banana is certainly a standout player. 95 saves to his name. That's quite a lot, and 35% shooting accuracy. So he can put a decent shot on net when required and break down many a defense. But now we're going to move on to our predictions. Virtue, who do you have taking this one?
A very close series, but I think Limousine take it in 5.
I've actually went for the same exact prediction as you. I think it's going to go the distance, but I think Limousine will be able to clutch up and take the series on Champions Field. But one thing for starting, whatever way it goes, it's going to be a very close series, and I believe it's almost time to get kicked off with game number 1. Players are joining up for game number 1, and it's about to get underway. The countdown has started, and we're underway now. Kickoff goes a bit of a stalemate, and Abdul Qadir will just take his time on the corner, just sends it over the center. Banana peels, jumps for it, but he gets beaten. Abdul Qadir beats another one. It's just going to float over, but Toxic 911 making the stop. Abdul puts it back on net, and the bump comes through, and it's an early goal. Just 18 seconds in, and Limousine already have the lead.
Yeah, it's a good start from Limousine. good bump from nature. Nothing you can do there. No one can read that from your team. And it's just a good play.
Yep, very early start for Limousine. Just what is required to be a team like Gibbous, because they have the firepower to just get straight back into it, even when their backs are against the wall. But they're already, facing a bit more pressure off the kickoff. Banana trying to find Jay Kuziak. Nature Gaming unable to intercept. Now Gibbous coming forward in their numbers. That one's going to just roll across the goal mouth, but no one there to receive it from Gibbous. And Limousine trying to slow things down. Jay Kuziak not giving them any time whatsoever. Now we're starting to see Gibbous get into the game a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely evened out now, but I still think Limousine take the advantage so far in this game.
Certainly, with being 1 goal up this early on, it allows you to have a lot of time to build on that lead and, give yourself a bit of breathing space to figure out your opponent and just will your way through it. But Gibbous, they have the strength to get back in this one. Jay Kuziak going to try and go for something, but it's cleared away emphatically by Abdul. Now Toxic 911 trying to get himself into this game, but he's just bellied off the ball almost immediately. Gibbous yet to register a shot on target. No, they've had one for Jay Kuziak, but been all Limousines in nature going for a flip reset, unable to get it off. We've Lucci to just get it away for now, and it's still 1-0 with just under 2 minutes gone.
I think that Limousine just taking their time. They're loading it well, and they're just playing off the 1 goal lead.
See quite a few demos there on back when Jay Kuziak spawning in as the last man. Nature getting demoed by Toxic. Now I'm just gonna float over the center. Toxic getting it away for now. As we start the attack, Lucci not able to get the correct pinch, but Toxic gets demoed before he can make a play on the ball. Jay Kuziak up early for that 50. And I'm gonna pop it up, but Nature pre-jumping it. He still has time and space on the ball, but Toxic does get that vital clear that he needs. Banana Peels gets demoed, and Toxic, little boost in the tank, but he does keep the ball out of the net for now.
Yeah, they're definitely playing the long game from Limousine. They're just staying onto that 1 goal lead. They don't feel the need to push any further than what's needed, and it's all for Jupiters to play off.
Gibbous yet to really have any meaningful chances in this game number 1, but there's still certainly time for that to change. But he needs to get out of their own half and sustain a little bit of pressure and try and crack this Limousine backline. But Nature is going to take it towards net again. Toxic, all he can do is just palm it to the corner, but Abdul beats 2 with the 1 touch, but Banana stands strong on defense and keeps it as a 1 goal game, a very manageable gap, all things considered, in Rocket League. And Banana taking no chance of that clear, just getting it away, making sure that they can build up this attack. Jay Kuziak in the skies, beaten out by Abdul, and that shot's very close to going in. Nature making the stopping. He's going to try and go solo. Abdul going up for that, not quite sure what the intention was. Doesn't really pan out how they were hoping, I would assume. But still no goal for Gibbous with just over a minute to go. We're into the last minute of this game number 1. And still Limousine in the lead, but Gibbous, they've been creeping forward, not seeing Limousine get much pressure other than just a few air dribbles towards net, which have been pretty easily dealt with by Toxic and co. But they haven't really created anything on the other end of the field either. Nature Gaming finally makes one of the air dribbles, and this lead has now been doubled with just over 30 seconds to go, and it was a very well worked play all the way from the demo to the air dribble to the final finish. And now this game looks to be out of reach.
I am here for now, but yeah, I just about saw the goal from Nature. It's a good solo, and I'll be here for as long as I can. But my internet is definitely giving up on me.
That's not the greatest of starts to this series on the broadcasting side, but it's a very good start for Limousine. Lucci making a clutch save, making his mark on this series and taking some of the limelight away from Abdul Nature, who've been outstanding in this game number 1, and it sees Limousine through to take the first game here in this best of 5. But Gibbous, they certainly weren't too far away from breaking their deadlock, but it just wasn't enough all in all. Well, it appears I'm still by myself. Nature Gaming putting up the MVP performance, 415 points, a goal, 2 saves, and 100% shooting accuracy in that one. He'll lead his team to victory. But Toxic, he was putting up quite a bit of pressure. He was making some clutch saves as well. And he'll be the one to hopefully lead the way for the rest of the series. If Jupiters want to get back into it, they can't afford to go 2-0 down, so this game is just as pivotal as any other game in this series. You don't want to go 2-0 down in any scenario in this best of 5 format. So we're hopping into game number 2, and I believe we have someone new joining me. I believe I saw a certain Potter join me in the booth. Potter, do you want to say hello?
Well, I'm here. However, I currently can't see the game, so you might have to fill me in just for a second whilst I get myself sorted. Notice.
Well, game 1 went to Limousine. It was a 2-0 scoreline, and Abdul Nature once again led the way for Limousine. They've just been so good all season during league play and all the rest. And Banana Peel nearly slipping up by going the wrong way, but he does recover to make the save. No boost in the tank till Nature puts it into the middle. Jay Kuziak gets it away, and now Toxic in a 1v1. The shot not too threatening, but certainly a brighter start for Jubitus. Abdul Koder getting demoed by Banana. They're starting to get a bit more physical, but won't really have too much of an effect. Lucci pops it up. Nature flipping away to the side though, and not really able to make much of a difference in that play. Still goalless with the first minute gone. But Jubitus getting feeling a little bit nervous here, facing all of this pressure early on. They've created some of their own, and that's a big whiff from Toxic. Lucci not able to capitalise, and Jubitus getting away a bit, easy there. Could very easily be 1-0. But it might be here. Banana gets back to it just in time. And they just can't break down this defense so far. But it just seems inevitable that Limousine are going to break the deadlock. But, Jubitus have been so solid in his first minute and a half or so. But maybe, maybe they could put 20 shots in net, and I think Jubitus might be able to save all of them with how they've looked so far. It's been 2 shots for Limousine compared to Jubitus's 2, but the ball for the majority of the time in this game number 2 has been in the orange half, and Potter's now joined the game, so he can join me alongside casting, so take it away.
As you say, I've only been in this lobby for a couple of probably seconds, really, not necessarily minutes. It's all been Limousine pressure. I'm very surprised they haven't been able to break the deadlock, but a first bit of pressure coming out for this Jupiter side. It's gonna go straight in. Toxic shot. You think it should easily be saved on the goal line, but it was not to be. Lucci couldn't find the touch, and it is Jupiter's to get the first goal in game 2 and potentially tie up the series.
Yep, and Lucci just stood still in the goal line with no boost in the tank, so it would have been very tough to make a save that wouldn't have been followed up by a Jubitus attacker, and they have the lead now, and it's Edwin need to build on. Banana Peels goes close. Jay Kuziak turns around for the rebound, but the double commit comes through, and Limousine survive, and try and build up pressure. Double commit there on the ground. It'll be Abdul trying to take it towards net. He's still on it here, but Banana gets it away, and Jubitus are now starting to press on.
They are. They want to double their lead. They want to make sure this is safe. But Limousine, it's Abdul Koda coming down the opposite side of the field. Couldn't find the double touch. Banana Peels was there on the back line, posed and ready to make the save. Lucci tried to send it forward. Limousine, they need to find a goal. This one's onto the backboard again. Nature's up for it. Couldn't find the read. It's a free shot, though, for Abdul Koda. Slots it away calmly. We've got a tied game in game 2.
Knocking on the door of Jupiter's defense, Nature Gaming, forcing Kuziak to jump, because Nature always has the ability to pull off those double taps, and it just leaves the net open for Abdul Koda to tie up game number 2 with just over 2 minutes left.
That's exactly how it is. Somebody needs to win this series. It's either going to be a tied series or a 2-0 lead for Limousine heading into game number 3. Jupiter's definitely want it to be the first of those two options. A minute 50 left to become a hero and try and step up for your side to set your team on the right path. Abdul Koda's shot top right. Jay Kuziak there with the save. Nature gets a free shot back at net onto the crossbar, getting the double touch. Nobody home to save it for the Jupiter side, and Limousine, they get a 2-1 lead. Minute 37 left. Do you reckon they'll be able to hold it out, Merritt?
I mentioned the threat of Nature's double taps, and about 30 seconds later he pulls one off. Limousine now, they have a lead and they're dangerous going forward, so it's just going to boost their confidence that much more. And I think they'll be able to hold on, but you know, if Toxic can pull off an insane solo player, Jay Kuziak, or, you know, just some sustained pressure in the last minute or so, but Abdul Koda puts the shot on net and makes their leads double.
Don't save these. It's a rifle into the top left corner. Abdul Koda, I don't know where he pulled that one from, but it's something special coming out for this Limousine side. They want this 2-0 series lead. They want to advance and stay in the upper bracket, and they've got a minute 15 seconds left to get said 2-0 lead. This one's lobbed forward towards Lucci. Jupiter's just able to deal with the pressure. Banana Peels pops it up, gets it over the one. They need to find 2 goals, and they've got a minute to do so. Banana Peels could just virtually be an open net. Couldn't find the 50. Opted to just try and bulldoze it straight through, and it could be an open net on the other side. But Toxic does scramble back to make a save, but the pressure still coming through from Limousine.
Yep, and that sort of could have been a goal if Banana just put it into the net. You know, no second touches, no, you know, getting cocky. Because Abdul got back to it and kept the lead at 2 goals into the last 40 seconds. Jay Kuziak trying to keep the pressure on, trying to get the second touch, but Abdul Koda just sends it away emphatically. But still, Jupiter's trying to build a bit of pressure, boost starving Limousine a bit. I'm not seeing many boost-rich blue players in the last 30 seconds or so, but no real advances being made by Jubitus, and they're back in their own half. Balance is going to float over, and Lucci's actually going to miss it, but Nature gets the follow-up nonetheless. But you know, I think Lucci should take that chance, but no complaints there for Limousine. It's 4-1.
Indeed, onto the backboard, you can say, from Lucci. Nature, everybody knows Nature can sort those home every day of the week, and he does so yet again. 4-1 to Limousine is the scoreline. And with most people predicting this to be a very close series, it doesn't seem like it's going to end up that way, Merritt.
Yeah, this could be even a 5th here. Nature can get on the end of it, he does, but just guided a bit wide, and Limousine on match point. You can see 3 sweeps here this evening. Hamas getting 2, and maybe Limousine adding the 3rd to the collection tonight. Hopefully we see a bit more resistance from Jupiter, though they started the game a lot better than they ended it. And maybe they'll be able to find that form coming into game 3.
They've got no other option. They have to find this form. They have to maintain the form. They need to win 3 consecutive games in order to keep their place in the upper bracket. A whole season has came down to this moment. 9 weeks of league play, and you do not want to be dropping without a fight. So Jupiter, they need to throw everything and the kitchen sink at this game to try and get something on the board and create a little bit of momentum going into potentially another 3 games.
Yeah, but even taking 1 game of Limousine is a very tall order for any team in the whole of Prospect, you would say. But, you know, maybe Jupiter, they find that spark, find that little, you know, exploit in the defense, that little clink in the armor. But you never know. Maybe Limousine just add to their dominance, and I wouldn't put it past them to do so.
We'll get to see how the series is going to unfold in about, well, a couple seconds time. 5 minutes is going to be put back on the clock. We get to see if it's going to be a sweep for the Limousine roster, or if Jupitus are going to have a fighting hope in coming back with a reverse sweep. Well, here, I believe we are on Manfield night. No, we're not. It's not Manfield. It's Sovereign Heights, for goodness sake. But we're here. 5 seconds gone into this one. No opening threats just yet. Kickoff just coming through. Lucci trying to send it through past Limousine. Jay Kuziak there to deal with it, though, for Jupiter. The pressure still coming through. It's exactly what we've seen from game number 2. Nature Gaming getting the bump onto Toxic. The ball just caresses itself into the top left corner. And it's this Limousine roster starting exactly where they left off.
It's always a threat in the air, and Toxic didn't know what hit him. It was Nature that hit him, and the ball was just left to roll into the net. And another very early start for Limousine in this game number 3. Looking to start how they ended off the second game, and Abdul waiting for that rebound, but Banana just smothers it. And now they're into the blue half for once. Lucci not able to make contact with that, and Abdul just left to clear away. Kuziak goes for the double. It just hits the post and bounces out past the Fennec of Banana Peels, and now pressure back on Jupitus. Instead, it's just loaded up the field by Jay Kuziak, and just left for Limousine to rebuild. And very close shave for maybe it should be back on level terms.
Definitely should. Again, it's shots which you wouldn't really expect to come out in the Prospect division, but they do, and when they do, they need to be sunk and hit into the back of the net, especially that one from Jay Kuziak. Again, if they lose this 1-0, they are the moments you're looking at for potential goals, but Lucci can't get the recovery, couldn't slot the ball into the back of the net. A miss from Jay Kuziak could allow a Nature shot, but Abdul Koda going for it. Drop down from Toxic towards Banana Peels, but nothing coming from the opportunity. Lucci up for it, leaves it to his teammate. Abdul Koda's shot is going to be saved away from Jay Kuziak, but Jupiter say need to get this ball upfield. They need to start advancing, getting some pressure onto the other team, otherwise it could be 2. Abdul Koda off the corner. Can he find the second touch? Yes, he can. Can he find the goal? No. Banana Peels gets a save.
Yep, and it certainly should have been 2, but Abdul will make it 2 anyway. The man who scored 100 goals in league play will add to that tally here in the play-ins. He just outspeeds Toxic, and he gets the ball just down enough to put it in the back of the net, and Limousine looking very comfortable to take this series in 3.
That is what they're going to be hoping for, and that is what we're well on track to have out of this series. 3 minutes left for Jupiter to change the course of this series. It could be potential 3-0 sweep. They need to make the most of their time and try and get something out of this game. At least a goal, better confidence, knowing they can beat this team, they can score goals against this team. They just need to do it more often.
Yeah. But they have created their fair share of pressure. It's just been the defense from Limousine's been so good for the whole of this series. You know, Jupiter, I believe they've only scored 1 goal so far, but they've definitely created a lot more chances than that. And that could be a third there. Nature just missing the ball narrowly and trying to take it back to his own half. Does get the boost, but Nana just trying to play a little bit of a nuisance, trying to force its way through. Instead, it's going to end up with Abdul. He gets the fake. Jay Kuziak unfazed by that one, though, which he tries to put on net. Nana whiffs, and Toxic just going to let it bounce off his car away. And now Jay Kuziak trying to get into the middle, but there's not really much strength to it. And a double commit coming out from Limousine will halt that attack for now. And it's 2 minutes for Jubitus to save their upper bracket lives.
And it doesn't seem like it's going to be saved anytime soon. 3-0 in the game. Lucci adds a third into the top left. And it looks like it's going to be a 3-0 scoreline in the series as well. 1:55 left for Jubitus to try and turn it around, get something on the board. But it's been an absolute stomping from Limousine.
All 3 players have contributed towards that. Everyone looks to Abdul or Nature, you know, for those flashy plays, for those solo plays that win a game for Limousine. But Lucci's just been so consistent as the third man, and he even pops up 1 or 2 goals. But Nature will add a 4th there, just popping it over the last defender and into the open net. That remained, and surely this is, you know, all she wrote for this series. But there could be a minor miracle. Toxic nearly kick-started that, but did hit the post and bounced out. Now Limousine back on the offensive.
Well, it seems like this is all but over. 4-0 the scoreline. Juventus haven't really had anything going for them in this game. They've had a couple shots on net, 4 to be exact. 4 shots for the amount of goals which Limousine have had in the series. It hasn't been a good enough offensive performance from that, and they need to try and improve upon this. Try and maybe go through some replays if they have the time ready for Saturday's playoffs. They've got to make a lower bracket run, Merits. But again, full credit to this Limousine roster to be able to pull off results like this, really.
Saw a few people in chat tipping Juventus to win this game, but their performance just hasn't been up to scratch to deserve the series win, and it's just been all Limousine. They've taken their chances, and they've had quite a few of them, and they've just been dominant. Their defense has been top notch as well. But you know, Juventus, they're going to need to prepare for Saturday from now on, just put their mind towards that. But could have been a goal there, but it was a very awkward save from Toxic on the blue goal line, sort of helping Limousine out and keeping the goals conceded very low.
And that play there just kind of sums up this series for Juventus. It just really hasn't been their day. It's really unfortunate to see from that. They could have had a goal. It doesn't look like it's going to be the case, as Limousine, again, they're surging downfield. They want a fifth. They're relentless, all this Limousine roster. 2 seconds left. That is game. That is all over for this Juventus roster. They'll be dropping down to the lower bracket, Merits, and Limousine, they advance.
They're through to Saturday with 2 lives remaining, but this has been the minimum amount of games that could be possibly played this evening. We had a 3-0 sweep to start, a 3-0 sweep in the middle, and a 3-0 sweep to end. I sort of wish there's, you know, a bit more action to rave about, but you know, all those teams that swept, well, both the teams that swept, just fully deserved both of their victories, and you know, it was very entertaining nonetheless.
Indeed, it was. Limousine, they shall advance to play Fearless Echo at 6 CET on Saturday the 18th of February, whereas Juventus, they shall be dropping down to be playing, they'll be playing, I believe it is the Palmists who advance throughout this bracket. So on Saturday at again also 6 at this time off stream, it'll be Juventus up against Palmists, and Limousine, they advance to take on Fearless Echo.
That'll be such a good matchup. So early on in the playoffs as well, both teams, you know, maybe contenders to win the entire tier, already against each other. That could definitely see that being a grand finals matchup, but you know, maybe not anymore, because if Limousine looking that good, I think Fearless Echo might be sweating a bit, despite how well they did in their own conference.
However, that is pretty much all the gameplay we have for you tonight. We shall be back, I believe, on Wednesday the 15th, where the Dwarves will be taking on Caro. The winner of that series will be taking on Terror, and we'll have Rogue versus Micah Faction in the upper bracket. But before we do head out, we might as well shout out our sponsors who make this league run, give you the prize pools you're all competing for, and that is Sanctuary, Charmin Esports, Badass, Dead Dinosaur, Synthesized Design, Gamers Apparel, and HyperX. So thank you to all of the companies I've just read out, as you make the league possible. But that is all the action we have for you tonight. No Rocket League tomorrow because it is Valentine's Day. That's why we have more action today, and RS Cast was moving all those scheduling issues. But we're back with normal, more Prospect Play in action on Wednesday. So don't go to sleep, and we'll see you then.